Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Mike Elko, Texas A&M, finishing the 2026 cycle out with a little bit of a bang here. Four-star running back Carson Baker flipping his commitment from Florida to Texas A&M. And look, Texas A&M kind of came out of nowhere here, and it is very clear they like this kid a lot. There was a lot of buzz around South Carolina over the last week. There was some buzz that Florida was pushing to keep him in the 2026 cycle, and over the last 72 hours, Mike Elko and Texas A&M get it done, and it does not take me very long to sell the Texas A&M fans on what this kid can be for Texas A&M. You're talking 6 foot, you're talking 200 pounds, you're talking 10-7 in the 100-meter dash, and you're talking about a kid that has been really productive at the high school ranks playing 5A football in the state of Georgia. When you talk about a football player that has ideal traits, box checking traits, and at the same time has backed it up on the football field and some high classifications in a really good football state in Georgia, you're normally going to be pretty happy with what you get. And that's Carson Baker. And the thing that I love most about Carson Baker is, look, he is a big physical running back, right? At 6 foot, 200 pounds, he is probably going to play at 210, maybe even 215 pounds during his time at Texas A&M. But at the same time, he goes 10-7 in the 100-meter dash. So on 3rd and 2, he can give you the hard yards. But if you're a safety and you take a bad angle on this kid, he's going to run right by you and you ain't going to catch him, right? I mean, 10-7 in the 100-meter dash, this kid can really pull away with some straight line speed. Now, it's hard to find running backs that give you the best of both worlds, give you that home run hitting ability, but also the ability to run really hard between the tackles. Carson Baker gives that to you. There's a reason why there's a lot of programs across the country that were interested in this kid at certain points in his recruitment. Really good get here by Texas A&M. Now, what I want to do is talk about this Texas A&M running back room. I want to talk about this 2026 class. I want to talk about where this roster is going with Texas A&M, because one of the things that I continue to find as a trend, really two things. One, Texas A&M kicking ass in the state of Georgia on the recruiting trail. And some of the best kids in the state are winding up in College Station, right? Number two, speed. Like the Texas A&M fans who've been rocking with the boys the last couple of months and really the last couple of years since Mike Elko has taken over this program, we're breaking down these commitments. We are often talking about guys that go sub-11 in the 100-meter dash, whether that's at wide receiver, whether that's at running back, whether that's at defensive back. Mike Elko is betting on athletes. We're betting on speed. This is a football team that will be the fastest team in the country, or one of the fastest teams in the country over the next couple of years, because this is a clear priority for Mike Elko on the trail. Talked about it ever since Mike Elko got to College Station. We're betting on athletes, man. Give us the best athletes who are big, strong, and fast, and we'll make them good football players. Early on in the tenure, seems like it's going pretty well for Mike Elko. We got a lot to talk about before we get into it. As always, the Texas A&M fans, man, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been such a blast talking this football team over the last couple of weeks. The amount of support from this fan base has been next level stuff. Appreciate you guys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And we're going to have a lot to talk about, right? I mean, not only National Signing Day wrapping up, but we're going into the college football playoffs. We have an offensive coordinator hire to make after that. Then it's transfer portal season. Buckle in. Appreciate you guys. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I want to go to the 2026 cycle for Texas A&M, which, look, it was a little bit disappointing over the last 2 weeks. I think that's fair to say, right? I mean, there was a lot of buzz around Braylon Womack, 5-star safety from Mississippi, right? He ends up flipping his commitment from Auburn to Mississippi State. And then KJ Ford, 4-star edge rusher from Duncanville, Texas. There was a lot of buzz that he was going to wind up in College Station. Ends up sticking with Florida. Like, there were some big names who I thought were really good football players that Texas A&M seemed to be trending for that wound up elsewhere. The thing I will say that I appreciate, man, there's no nonsense here. There is no drama when it comes to how Mike Elko is operating this program. Yes, we might have missed on some potential flip commitments, Ain't nobody was flipping from Texas A&M though. I mean, this was one of the most quiet signing days we saw across the country. It's a really damn good class. That's big. That's complete. There was no nervous energy coming out of College Station. All of these guys woke up on Wednesday. They signed their papers to Texas A&M, and that's where they're going to be playing football. Hey, ain't a lot of programs that can say that across the country. I appreciate that from Mike Elko and Texas A&M. My general takes on the class. I'm a fan, and I'm a fan because it's complete. Maybe on the inside of that defensive line, depending on the position Bryce Perry Wright plays, maybe that's a little bit of a concern. But outside of that, there are not many position groups that I look at after what I'm seeing Texas A&M sign and say, that's going to be a problem over the next couple of years, right? You're sticking with the plan. And what I mean by that is I think there was a very good opportunity for Texas A&M to flip Braylon Womack if they wanted to pay the money. And I think Texas A&M was willing to be competitive, but look, there's a limit. Mike Elko is not going to break tendency. He's not going to get desperate because you look at Texas A&M and say, hey, we want to sign really damn good competitive classes. You're going to do that in 2026. It looks like Texas A&M is going to sign maybe the best class in the country in 2027. So, hey, we're taking care of business, the high school ranks. This is also a program that wants to do damage in the portal. And it's not like Mike Elko wants to build this program from portal additions. There's not been many programs and coaches that have been more effective using the portal, especially last year. You look at Casey and Mario Craver and Tyler Rowe and Deion Hayes. It's not like it was a massive class that Texas A&M brought in. You added legitimate difference makers that allowed this team to make a run into the playoffs. Mike Elko wants to do that again. So we're going to be really competitive at the high school ranks. We're not going to be desperate. We're going to make sure we have the resources we deem necessary to go out and make the portal additions we need to go out and make. And I'll say this, look, it's not like Texas A&M has these glaring holes on their roster going into 2026, but Mike Elko is going to look to make a couple of big additions, very similar to what he did last year. That's a long way of saying what I'm trying to say is that Mike Elko is very clearly a good coach, right? Like the progress that this team has made, the development of Marcel Reed, the development of this defense, it is unquestionable that you have a strong coach and a strong coaching staff. Zero question marks about that. He's also answering the questions about roster building because I'll say this, Texas A&M is going to have the talent necessary to win national championships. That's just the way Mike Elko is doing things. Whether that's a top 5 class, whether that's a top 10 class that's supplemented in the portal, Mike Elko in his first 2 years has answered those question marks about can he recruit to Texas A&M. He very clearly can. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. A lot to talk about over the next couple of weeks and months. We'll talk to y'all later.